What's up, y'all? I have a quick message for you. I'm about ready to finish the New Year's readings, and I have a really quick twin flame message that just came through, which is if you're not with your twin flame, if you're not in union with your twin flame yet, you ain't supposed to be. Of all the questions that I get from people, period, in the world, in existence, the one I get the most of is, how can I reunite with my twin flame? And every time I get the question, there's all this sadness and fear and desperation. That is the answer that I want to give you guys in this video. And the first thing to know is that if you're not with your twin flame yet, you're not ready. And what's gonna get you ready, the only thing, is to go within and love yourself more. That is the answer every single time. So you have to start doing acts of love towards yourself. Okay? Like, tell yourself, I love you, in the morning, in the mirror. Write yourself love letters. Write essays about why you love yourself. Go on a date with just yourself. When you go shopping, don't not get the things that you want because of whatever excuses you tell yourself. You don't have enough money, you don't have enough time, other people need things more. Take care of your star player, because your twin flame is you, y'all. Like, I don't think you guys get it. Your twin flame is you. So if you ain't coming to you, it's an inside job, y'all. It's an inside job. And another thing I want to say, because I think it's finally time that I say the reason that I stopped talking about twin flames. The reason I stopped talking about twin flames is because the shit that I see about twin flames really, like, it's super unhealthy. Dude, every time I just put in twin flame on YouTube and I look at the fucking videos and I bring them up and I skim through them and I look at the content, dude, I'm like fucking flabbergasted. Every one of them have the same feel to them, which is, hey girl, let's spy on that motherfucker. Dude, they're all like that. Let's see what that dude's doing. What ain't he doing right? How can we hate on a motherfucker today? You can't do those. That's not good. Y'all, just set down the fucking Page of Swords and the Stalker card, y'all, okay? That's not how it's done. It's an inside job. If you have any fucking advice from anybody about twin flames and all of the information isn't about you, And if it's not information that goes along the lines of, you don't love yourself, and these are the ways that you don't love yourself. Let me help you figure out how to love yourself in those ways. Shine light in it. If it ain't like that, if it is not personally empowering, it is not true twin flame guidance, okay? It's an inside job, okay? And has nothing to do with being selfish or egoic either. There's a bunch of that shit floating around too. And if you y'all, if you are just hanging out in the negative parts of your ego 24/7, no. Like, come on! How do you expect for a union to happen? That is a divine union if you're not divine. I mean, I can't deal. I can't deal with y'all. And you can't just be like, I'm divine, but I'm also these things too. So I'm in balance, so I'm still divine. You can't lead with your shadow side and live in your shadow side and constantly be grumpy and constantly feel like people are out to get you, or you're not happy with what you have, or you need to change yourself somehow to get what you want in the world, or you're scared that you can't get what you want, or you're scared that you're going to be alone, or anything like that means you're not ready. Because those are the negative parts of your ego. And if those negative parts of your ego are flared up like that, it's because they need healed. Now, if those negative parts of your ego are that flared up, if you had a reunion with your twin, if your twin flame came to you, if that brought them to you, that would be a karmic. Because when you attract somebody to you, when your ego is super, super flared and you're dealing with like a lot of negative ego, and it's someone who's literally like all up in your face, like they do come to you out of that energy. That's a karmic. That means that's somebody there who also has that fearful energy, and you can come together to help heal it together, clear it together. You don't do that with your twin flame. Not in person like that. They don't come to you in person out of negative energy. Your twin flame is you. You only attract more of your own life force with your own life force. And your own life force is powerful, and it's happy, and it's loving, and it's beautiful. That's the energy that brings in your twin. And you can't fake that shit. So stop trying. You have to do the work. If you have negative parts of your ego flaring up and you're craving your twin flame at the same time, it's because you have abandonment issues. It's because things happened to you when you were little, and there were parts of you when you were a baby, when your brain was developing when you were a baby, where you were supposed to like have this nurturing, this closeness, this bond with your life givers, whoever the fuck that was, and you didn't have that. So it's like you have soul fracturing. There are parts of you that is empty. That's why you feel empty, because that's why there are disconnects inside of you where it should be all filled up with love. That's just where you are. That doesn't mean that you're stuck that way forever. Okay? It's temporary. You just have to recognize it. And then you're like, oh, I just really want somebody to comfort me like a baby. It's your inner child. And you could just tend to it. Tend to your inner child. When you're freaking out and you're like, oh my gosh, I need this, I need that, I need this person, I need that person. That's your inner child speaking through you, like a little baby crying for a bottle. And there's no shame in that. That's the problem, is that people look at that as shameful. We all have that aspect because nobody was raised completely perfectly. I mean, anywhere along the way that you weren't fully on, you didn't get the things that you needed inside of you for proper emotional development. Everybody experienced that to some degree. Some people are just super blown out of the park like me. So I have so much work to do. That's why I know this shit. Because, my life was awful. So I already just figured all this shit out by doing it. I'm not like, oh, let me consult this book and I'll get back to y'all. I don't got time for that, y'all. This is just shit I've went through myself, okay? So, that's it. So, your twin will come to you when you have more happiness in you than pain. Considerably more. Because you guys reflect back to each other. Like, okay, imagine that you're in this position and you're like, I really need somebody to comfort me. But you're trying to draw on your twin. Your twin is the last person in the world who would be able to comfort you if you feel bad. Really bad. Because your twin is just going to reflect back to you the badness that you're feeling. Because they're you. So you can't look outside of yourself. It would double it. It would make it worse. And because your twin isn't even what you're really wanting. Your inner child is wanting your mother or your father or someone to comfort you. So that is the time to open up your spiritual aspect and connect to spirit and pray and meditate and work on your chakras and do the work. Start to do the work. That is your trigger to let you know that it's time to do the work. Get a journal. Write down what that means to do the work. Write it all out. The steps that you take, what it looks like. Like, I want to offer workshops about this in the future. I'm not stable enough to do that yet. I'm still in the middle of a major transformational stage myself, so I can't do it yet. But in the future, just do the work. Just be like, and then when you actually start doing it, you will feel so powerful, because the reason that you miss your twin in those moments is because you are disconnected with some part of self. And you literally feel something. It's like it's being pulled out of you and you want it back. Your twin won't give that to you. That's not their job. Okay? That's not what they do. That isn't what it's about. You have to do that for you. You have to see that that's a problem for you and fix that for you, because two people coming together with holes inside looking to the other one to fill them. No, hunty. That is not a healthy relationship. That is a codependent, messy motherfucking nightmare. You have to be able to take care. You have to be able to tend your own garden. You have to be able to have like figurative motherfucking rose bushes in your heart chakra, just fucking shooting out love. And the only way that you can come into that kind of energy is by feeling that for yourself and facing the fact and accepting the fact that you don't, when you don't, why you don't, and then figure out why and shut that shit down. The only reason that you don't love yourself is because you believe a lie that somebody told you, some reason somebody told you not to. When you were a baby, you were like, Every fucking baby in the world is the biggest pimp ever. Dude, think about it. Every human being, unless they're twisted and fucked up, every healthy human being, when they see a baby, they completely stop and serve it. We worship babies because they're God. Think about that. They're pure. Ain't nobody told them they ain't God. And what do? We treat them like God because we know that they are. You beautiful bastards.